Huh. Hmm? Hmm. Hmm. Mm. Oh, hey, what's up? Didn't see you there. You know, there's a saying that goes, one can wear many hats. And it normally refers to jobs, roles, other things that you do. But I'm going to take this a little more literally. So, you can see right here, I got a lot of them. More in the corner. I have 15 to be exact. Yeah, 15. Oops, sorry, there's one back there. 16. 16 hats. And I'm going to tell you the story of how I got each one. And, we're going to go on a little journey, shall we? So before we set off on this little adventure, I have to give you a little background. When I was really young, and my dad would take me to hit baseballs, I had a hat I always wore. And I usually wore them only when I played baseball or whatever as such. It wasn't until like a couple years later that my grandfather gave me a tin can sailor Navy hat. And even though I was not in the Navy, nothing of that sort, I thought it was a cool hat as a kid, and I wore it a lot. It didn't happen until I was about 11, I would say, 10, 11, when I started wearing them backwards. And that's because initially at first, I was not allowed to. But as I got older, all the kids in my neighborhood, it was like t-shirts, the baggy pants, and the backwards hat. And I always thought it was really cool. And so basically, yeah, as my 10-year-old self, started rocking the hats backwards and been doing it ever since. And it's any part of style that I have, that's it. So yeah, that's a little history on why I wear hats and why I wear them the way they do. Now let's go. So this hat here is one of my oldest. I've had it since 2001. I got it when I was 10 years old. Walked up to the grocery store, and paid $10 for it. So, okay, I'm off the ground. Yeah, so I've had this one since 2001, and if you couldn't tell, it's because I like Jeff Gordon. Yeah, so I bought it because I was real big into NASCAR as a 10-year-old kid. And it was all thanks to the NASCAR Racers cartoon that was on Saturday mornings. Rest in peace, Saturday morning cartoons. But yeah, so I got real big into NASCAR, and Jeff Gordon was my favorite driver, so when I saw this hat, it's like I had to have it. And it still fits my head, even though the clip is corroded in place. And yeah, I don't wear it as much as I used to. It's more of like a sentimental thing that hangs on my wall, but I'm wearing it right now, just for y'all. And that's the tale of this Gordon hat. So this here is my only Cleveland Browns hat. And I actually won this about 4 or 5 years ago. So let me tell you about this. So yeah, anyways, I was actually invited to a Browns football game. And my friend who invited me had club seats. So there are all kinds of like little perks and things like that for being able to sit in the club seats. And one of them was that they had like giveaways and stuff. And so they had to spin the wheel, and they gave a question. And the question was, it was a certain year, and it's like, who did the Browns pick 7th that year? Well, they picked Joe Hayden, cornerback. Not for the Pittsburgh Steelers, unfortunately, but hey, that's how football goes. Anyways, so I got the right answer, and I won this hat that you see here. Now, you know I'm an Eagles fan, but I still support the hometown Brownies and whatnot. And as you can see, it's faded and everything as such. It's because it's my rough around the edges hat. It's the one I wear when I'm out in nature and geocaching and things as such. So, yeah. And actually, the Browns won that game. They played the Kansas City Chiefs, and they won 35-10. It was a great day. Cold, but great day. So this hat here was the second Eagles hat I ever purchased. And this one was also an impulse buy because we were at a rest stop on the way home from Pennsylvania and I saw it and just had to have it. But yeah, it was the one I wore for like 2-3 years, long time. And it got worn, it got sun faded pretty good, as you can tell. And so I decided, hey, this is gonna become my fishing hat. And if we look here, got a little bunch of nice pins on it. There's a Fish Ohio for a 14-inch crappie, kangaroo from Australia, geocaching symbol, another Fish Ohio for a 28-inch walleye. So yeah. So this hat here, I got a number of years ago. I bought it with birthday money on a gift card that was given to me. And if you can't tell by the logo on the hat, it's the Philadelphia Flyers, NHL hockey team. Now, if you don't know me by now, I love sports. I really do. Hockey I got into because as a kid I was given a Steve Yzerman jersey. And Steve Yzerman was a great player for the Red Wings for many, many years. And so I was a bandwagon Red Wings fan as a kid, as you could say. But then later, as I kind of got more involved in the hockey and paid a lot more attention to it or so, you know what I mean? I eventually fell in love with who I originally liked, which was the Philadelphia Flyers. And so I've been a pretty big Flyers fan for 8 years or so now, something like that. And I just never had anything Flyers related. So I was like, what am I doing? I need some Flyers gear. So when my birthday came around, I bought this hat. And this one I wear more often, just on occasion, chill, nothing super fancy sort of thing. So yeah, that's the story behind this Flyers hat.